I've seen a lot. I feel like we've covered a lot on this show, and the NFL never stops giving us shit that, is absurd, and we certainly talk about it. What is happening in the Jets building, I think we are really starting to learn about for the first time. There's been rumors about how it operates over there, and people go like, place stinks, always will stink. What's the curse? Woody. Woody's the curse.
Whoa.
Well, it turns out from an article that we read, written by...
Is it Diana Rossini?
And I think it was the entire crew over there.
Yeah.
Zach Blatt.
Yeah, I think it was, and Mike Silver. I think it was a slew of insiders writing for The Athletic. Obviously, New York Times owns The Athletic. So this is high-level journalism, obviously, high-level sourcing. The stories that we are hearing, not about Woody Johnson, okay, certainly may be a problem, but about Woody Johnson's boy.
What?
Brick Johnson.
Oh, Brick.
The Brick.
Do you know who Brick? Have you heard about? I didn't know Brick Johnson existed. I learned today. 17-year-old boy.
17.
Okay. He's a Harvard tennis player.
Yeah.
Damn.
He went to Deerfield Academy in Massachusetts, which, Connor, you know well. I think it's $75,000 a year, right? 75.
Yeah, very expensive. The prep schools in New England are definitely illustrious schools in the region, and they've been around since, we looked it up, 1790, I believe, some of these schools.
1796, I think it founded by Samuel Adams.
Bingo.
I believe, yes, that Samuel Adams founded Deerfield Academy. So we're talking old money.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking old money. But we're talking about, I guess, a very mature boy. Okay?
Yes.
Because Woody Johnson, his father, who owns a franchise, there's only 32 of them, owns an NFL team that everybody on earth is looking to buy, looking to own. He has a 17-year-old boy, I guess, just making decisions, giving speeches, on the phones on draft day for the undrafted free agents.
This is a younger Khan type deal?
Tony Khan is the director of football strategies down there in chief football strategist.
I don't remember him starting at 17.
17
Maybe
well,
making the decision.
Prodigy, Brick's kind of a prodigy. I think we actually have Brick with us. Hey, Brick, when did this all start for you running the New York Jets?
Pretty much whenever I wanted it to start. My dad doesn't know shit about football. I do. That's kind of why he put me in the position that I'm in. A lot of stuff going around, but yeah, I mean, big deal. Draft night, we get someone on the phone. Who's the first one saying, "Welcome to New York, bruh"? Me.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You're not giving like post-game speeches or anything, are you, though?
When it's necessary. A lot of people are kind of making waves about that. Yeah, big deal. Get a big win on a Thursday night. Coach Brick, I'm Brick. Which is honestly maybe a little bit of part of the problem that no one's talking about. There's one fucking Brick in that building, and it's me, not Coach Olbricht. Okay, but he gets his first win. Rodgers is kind of, which we can talk about him later.
Well, you traded for him, didn't you?
Well, I told my dad, yeah, it's.
You were 15 at the time?
Yeah, I said, hey, I've been grinding the tape. I've been watching the tape. This guy's still pretty good. Okay, so let's maybe get him. Now, did I also have hands in drafting Zach Wilson? Maybe.
You would have been like, 12 years old?
12.
Kind of a wonderkind, if you will, though. Age is just a number. When you got a fucking brain like I do, to be quite frank with you.
Yeah.
17, 47. I've crammed more football knowledge in the last 5 years than, for instance, Chuck has in his entire life.
Okay. He's dedicated his entire life. It does feel like you have a lack of respect for like really anything other than like just how you personally feel in the moment. Because I think what you were talking about there with Coach Brick.
Sorry, I'll get back.
All bricked. Well, no, let me do it for you, Brick.
Okay.
These are things, that as you grow older, you'll kind of fit into. You're somehow going to get smarter, which none of us really know how.
Harvard.
That's right.
Welcome to the show.
I forgot about that.
So,
how's your tennis game? We good? We checking to watch or what?
Well, actually, I'm 1-3 in singles and 0-3 in doubles. So, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be running the Jets here shortly. So my tennis career may be short-lived.
Yeah, you're watching too much film. You're not focusing on forehands and backhands
Thank
and
you.
jump shots and drop shots against all the other Ivy Leaguers who've been playing, and they're just doing tennis. I get it, Brick. But I guess after Coach Olbricht's first win as the head coach, the Halloween night, Aaron Rodgers, as customary, gets the game ball, goes into the locker room, and basically Coach Brick is going to get kind of handed the game ball for his first ever NFL win. It's a big moment.
Huge.
Big moment. That's like a massive moment in the entire interim coaching thing, especially as a former player, with how that team has been treated, how that season has gone. That was going to be a massive moment. Then, allegedly, what's being reported with sources, anonymously, through New York Times, The Athletic, is that you actually snagged another game ball from an equipment manager. And before all that could happen, you just said, game ball, Garrett Wilson, this guy. And then you started swearing and talking about how
he
great.
went fucking mad dummy. Give it up for Garrett Wilson. Let's fucking go, boys. This is what it's all about.
Was that?
I don't remember exactly because it was a very, obviously very emotional, big win. So yeah, I don't, but I do remember. Like I said, he did go mad dummy, bro.
Catch.
Yeah, exactly.
What'd you do when he got that catch, Brick? One-handed in the end zone like Jordan.
Well, I was just, it was actually I'm kind of before the time too, but I was just bringing the boom to anyone who would listen.
Oh, so you started doing the boom.
Just a little bit of that.
A lot of people aren't believing that a 17-year-old's making decisions. Why Joe Douglas? Oh, I'm sorry.
Anonymous
sources around an executive around Joe Douglas, the fired general manager in the middle of the season here. Why did he say allegedly that he was reporting to a teenager? Was Joe D reporting to you?
Because he was. One of his first days on the job, I told him, football decisions run through me, pal. And then this came out and I said, yeah, you're right, fatso. You are reporting to a teenager.
Jeez, did you say it to him? And you didn't say that to him on the day. Because I heard also that you go into a locker room potentially post-game and give critiques and stuff to people.
Oh, yeah, I got no problem going up to a lineman. You fucking suck. You're too fat. You stink.
What? Why do you think you could do that? You're 1-3 as a Harvard tennis player. What do you...
Because I have absolutely no repercussions. What are you talking about? I don't have to answer for anything. This is just coming out. I've been doing this since I'm 15 years old. This is just coming out right now. Everyone just say, hey, your dad's a moron. Which I'd like to kind of get something off my chest. Yeah, we were going to trade for Jerry Jeudy. We were.
Yeah, and I heard Matt.
Well, I told my dad, I said, fuck that. He's mid in Madden, bruh. He's like a 77.
And did your dad know what that meant when you said he's mid in Madden, bro?
He did. I had to kind of, school him on him a little bit. But my dad watches me play Madden all the time. How do you think he knows who we're going after in the trade deadline? How do you think he knows who to, look around the league for? A couple of these different guys. I mean, I grind the tape, on Madden. A very, very nice, theater that we have in our home.
Oh, you got a specific theater to watch film?
Absolutely.
How much did that cost to build? I
mean, I don't ask these questions. I just say, hey, Dad, stop being a bitch. Get out the checkbook. Let's go.
All right. Okay. Coach Pagano, everything we just mentioned, I don't know if it went exactly how Brick was reinterpreting there. And obviously, I think he's a be where you feet are person, and he just kind of operates in the moment. All those things are being reported. Have you ever heard anything like this? A teenager, okay, and I assume he's a good boy.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt it.
There's a chance.
There's a chance he's a good boy.
He looks like
I suppose there's a chance. You're right.
There's a chance he's a good boy. There's a chance
There's some entitlement there.
It seems like it, yeah. Lack of awareness, too, it seems like. Right. But once again, teenager, so he's going to have to grow up, and there's a lot of these things happening. But could you fathom being a general manager in the NFL, a coach in the NFL, a player in the NFL, and a 17-year-old who has accomplished nothing other than being born into the family, was to come up and say something to you about your profession? This is what's being reported. We have no idea what's real and what's not real. This is just from New York Times, The Athletic, high-level journalism happening. They're saying this is taking place. That's bananas to think about. And whenever you see, people say, like, the Jets are never going to win, and it's like, if you haven't been in the building, I don't think you would have ever guessed that was. I don't think I would have ever guessed that was happening. Did you know about any of this? And how do you feel about this particular operation that's taking place over there?
Obviously, I just heard about it, but all the buildings that I've been in, starting in Cleveland, early 2000s, to the Raiders, to the Ravens, to the Colts, Bears. There's a lot of coaches. There's a lot of ownership. There's front office. There's a lot of people. After games, there's sons and kids. People come in, right? But never, have I ever seen. You never heard a word, right? Like my grandfather's rules was, children would be seen and not heard.
In the locker.
That's how we grew up. Everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Love that.
And if somebody addresses you and they ask you a question, then you can speak. But otherwise, No, but just fascinating to read that you finally get this win right after everything that's been going on.
Big moment.
And we're going to celebrate, the guy that's, taking on this responsibility and Jeff Obrick, right? Interim head coach. And we're going to celebrate him and the team, and they're fired up. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere,
A 17-year-old kid
like-
comes in. Hey,
I
bro.
can't even imagine the looks on the faces of those players. Like, can you imagine, like, hey, where you? And then here comes, what'd you call him?
What?
The wonder.
Wonderkin?
He's a wonderkin for sure. But Garrett went mad dummy. That's why he was so jacked.
Yeah, okay. Dad, see him come out of left field? No. Like, here we
Just
go.
think of this guy. Obviously, we know what he wears. He has a sport coat
Yep.
on,
Blue blazer, gold
button up,
down.
not
Yep.
all the way,
Yep.
but no tie on. We got that thing tucked in, probably some khakis.
Khakis.
You got some loafers on.
Yep.
We just came. Hair's obviously perfectly coiffed. Kid looks good coming in there.
Swoop.
So jacked about a first win in a long time. So jacked. Just need to like Garrett Wilson, and he went.
He went mad dummy, bruh.
That's what I was referencing, man.
Game ball. And then I guess Woody took the game ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hand. Thank you. Just shut up. Coach Brick, congrats on your first year win. Right, come up. Let's get out of here.
You did it.
But all those people being around Jim was in all those locker rooms. The respect that they understand between players and coaches and what just transpired on they never, when it was time and there was a moment or whatever and you had it, but it wasn't certainly on top of like your quarterback or your head coach or anything like that.
Yeah, I appreciate every time we learn something new that I didn't know was even possible. It's the highest level.
Yeah.
It's the NFL. Let's remember that. There's a lot of kids. You mentioned a lot of teams that have a lot of kids pass down and get the team. And some kids, I think, do good. Some kids, though, having this potential life that has shown them that they have zero accountability. They have it all figured out. And I'm not saying this about Brick. He's, from it sounds like, though, shut up.
There's a chance.
Like, there is a chance that he grows into this. He wants to be around so he can learn. Like Jim Irsay tells stories about working in the equipment room whenever he was like a young teenager so that he could kind of get to feel the lay of the land of what a football team's like. I was in the locker room whenever Bob broke his ankle and this whole thing. Like he tells those stories. And then he was the youngest general manager ever hired, I think, in the history of the NFL, Jim Irsay, when he was like 31 or something like that. His dad hired him. Then he bought the team when he was like 36 years old or something like that for $1 million from his dad. So it's like Jim certainly was around when he was young, but I think like he had this sense of like I'm a play. I think he wanted to view himself as a football player, as opposed to Brick wants to view himself as an owner. Like I'm an owner of a team because his dad is an owner of a team, and it's like, man, you're very lucky that you're born into that position. Just have a little sense of gratitude for it and awareness, and then when your time comes to actually run the team, you have an advantage over everybody else that's new money into the NFL, as opposed to having a disadvantage because you've been acting like an entitled brat your entire life. Like that is if I'm a Jets fan and I'm hearing this, I'm really bummed out because it's not just right now.
No.
Nope.
Everybody's like, Woody's a problem. It's like, don't worry, there's more. There's actually a littler one that's almost sounds like he'll be around. He'll somehow find a way to live forever too. And he's not. It sounds like his dream is to run the Jets forever. Gary Vee said, I want to buy the Jets. Yeah, no shot. Brick
Ain't
Johnson,
happening.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gary.
he's the owner as a 17-year-old brother. That ain't never happening. This Brick Johnson kid,
It reads like an Onion article. That's what I was going to say. Like it seems like it's satire. It seems incredibly fake. There's no way you would believe this. But also, to kind of defend him a little bit, you could see how he gets into this position when him and I think it was his brother are reading stuff on the internet and like reading it in the tabloids, and they take it to their dad, and he, instead of like vetting it or talking to someone, he takes it directly to the locker room or to the GM or to the coaches and says, "Hey, what's this about? What's it? Why is this the case?" Or like the Madden stuff. He takes that as gospel, and it's like, okay, well, we're not going to trade for Jerry Jeudy then because my son's playing Madden, and he said he's a 77 overall, and we can't trade for that guy.
I'm not paying a 77 overall.
Yeah, he was an
kidding me?
84.
And Jerry Jeudy has responded. He's come out and said that he blames Ocho Cinco because Ocho Cinco is the Raider for Madden wide receivers. So there's a chance that Jerry Jeudy could have been a Jet, but Ocho Cinco didn't like his break or his awareness, I guess, out of his routes is what was potentially reported. Nonetheless, this happened at the highest level. And to you Jets fans, we didn't know that this was even possible.
No.
Cheer
And
for
who
the
kno-
Giants.
Well,
Yeah, it would stake more, but at least there's.
But Mara at least was kind of on the right track.
He was.
He wanted Saquon.
If we watch Hard Knocks.
yeah.
Anyways, Jets fans, it's good. It's never going to get.
I mean, you look at the replies to this, the amount of people that like legit have been like, I'm jumping off. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore.
Well, it's because he loves owning a team, that kid, 17 years old. And, you know, I think this happens with probably a lot of different businesses where the owner, super successful kid, kind of thinks they wield power and nobody ever checks the kid, you know, ever. So then one thing leads to another. Bang, bang, bang. Probably a lot of red flag moments where it's like, hey, this isn't reality. This isn't this, boom. Nope, boom. Because I'm thinking about this a lot for my baby girl, Mackenzie, and I assume you guys are as well. Vastly different life for my daughter than me growing up, everything. So I'm trying to figure out, like, how do I enjoy it all while also making sure she understands, like, this is not normal for a lot of people. And it sounds like if you're a parent, you can just check out and be like, yeah, you're me. Reincarnated. Just act like me. Don't worry about it. Feels like that's what has happened here. And Brick can still learn. You know, this is something where he can learn from because he does pay attention to everything. I don't know if he watches our show, but if he does, like, hey, Brick, if this shit's real, you're going to walk around someday and a kid's going to punch you right in the face. And
Might not be at Harvard, but
it's probably going to, you know, like, you need the reality needs to set in at some point. And you stink as a GM. Your team has stunk since you've been kind of around. So if you want to act like an owner and a GM, let's go off a results business. Your team sucks. So maybe back off a little bit, learn, and then get back into the saddle if what is being reported is true.
Yeah, and if it's not Athletic in New York Times, like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah,
'Cause
New York.
Yeah, like a story like this is absurd. And for it to be published, if it's not true, is just as big of a problem as if it is true.
Yeah, and we've tried to call our source says to legitimize the story, but work is happening. So we weren't able to get a hold of anybody. We shall see.